Since JJK is very likely ending this year, or at least very soon, as the author GEGE has said multiple times and even recently that he really wants to end it this year, Kenjaku vs Yuta is something that's likely to happen very soon. And not only is it happening very soon, it's also a closer fight than you may think. We have the mastermind, the genius, and the absolute behemoth Kenjaku versus the Rizzler, the man with 1,000 copied curse techniques in his bag. Okay, well maybe not 1,000, he's not Kakashi, but it's Yuta. He's very strong. And of course, thanks to all the special raid members of the channel, which is just that guy Trey. Thank you, man. In JJK chapter 213, we got to see the smooth talker Sukuna talk no jutsu Hana into no longer peeling him like a banana out of Megami. However, it seems with even all of the Riz in the world, Sukuna still wanted a bite out of Hana because he was just that hungry. And I mean, hey, if I was stuck inside Yuji for that long, I would be hungry too. But Sukuna would not have this issue had he just used the sponsor of today's video, and the first sponsor of the channel too, HelloFresh. So I know many of you, and especially the incarnated sorcerers who may not be aware, may be asking, what is HelloFresh? Well, you see, with HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. It makes home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And I mean, hey, how do you think all these current grade 1 sorcerers have such strong and great bodies? HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. And I mean, hey, let's say you're not a sorcerer and you're looking for an easy way to eat well and save money this year. By using the code in the description or using the coupon in the description as well, or on the screen right now, you can cut back on expensive takeout and delivery. And you'll just love how fast, easy, and affordable it is to whip up a restaurant quality meal right in your own kitchen. And I mean, just look at Sukuna. See, he's calmed down. He's no longer trying to eat Hana now that he's had some of his HelloFresh meals. You have fast and fresh recipes which are ready in less than 15 minutes too, and they just fill you up. So yeah, if you're interested, again, use the link in the description or the coupon code, as not only will the delivery be free for your first meal, but you'll also get 65% off too for US orders. And then thereafter, you keep getting these great meals every week. So don't be like Sukuna and try HelloFresh. Then you won't be needing to take a bite of any angels anytime soon. Okay, so now I'm going to start off with the obvious. How strong is Kenjaku and all of Kenjaku's win condition? The reason I'm starting off with this is because I think Yuta's is actually going to be really interesting, so I'll save that for the second half. And also to all of the regular members of the channel, there is a very important announcement at the end of the video. So Kenjaku is very powerful. I mean, he beat Yuki in a 3v1, though I say 3v1 with a massive asterisk since it really did seem like Tengen was more of a detriment than help. However, nonetheless, he still won that with his skill, as had he not been so talented with the domain expansion, had a barrierless domain, then he would have gotten absolutely cooked from Tengen. So yes, he beat Choso, Yuki, and Tengen in a 3v1. It's very, very impressive. But in chapter 211, we actually saw the characters say that Yuki was as strong as Yuta, and that Kenjaku still beat Yuki even with the help of Choso and Tengen. But the key part is the characters all agree, or they all say, that Yuki and Yuta are pretty much as strong as each other, or at the very least, they're on a very similar tier. Now, this is not a good look for Yuta because Kenjaku is clearly stronger than Yuki, at least in a 1v1. Yes, the 1v1 would have gone better had Yuki expanded her own domain, but it's clear as crystal and factual that she still would have lost, as that's the whole reason that they even had this massive complicated plan. It's because Yuki was never winning in a domain clash, because Kenjaku is that good at making domains. His barrier techniques are of that high of a level that he is only second to Tengen in terms of barrier techniques. It's really crazy, and it also means it's factual that in a domain clash, no matter how good Yuta's domain is, Yuta would lose in a domain clash, since again, it was confirmed that Kenjaku is second only to Tengen, and when it comes to simple domains, domain expansions, domain clashes, he just loses to no one. Though of course, big asterisks, people like Sukuna and Gojo are the exception to this, and they're going to be exceptions to pretty much everything I say in this video when I say strongest or best at something. So number one, yeah, he's got the domain and the barrier battle on lock. And of course, number two, which I just said earlier, it was said that Yuki and Yuta are very relative in strength, and this is not a good look for Yuta at all. Though I will say, when the official translations come out, maybe it will say Yuki is almost as strong as Yuta. Maybe it will say something different, and maybe it will give Yuta some leeway. So at the very least, keep that in mind. But as far as the current translations that are available right now before the official one, yeah, it's not looking good for Yuta. And of course, all of this is just beside the fact that Kenjaku is such a beast. I mean, he also has multiple curse techniques, not just Yuta. So he has his gravity curse technique, he has his curse spirit manipulation, and he also has reversal of curse technique. So when I said his gravity curse technique, that was actually the reversal of the main curse technique, the anti-gravity curse technique. So here's the craziest part, it's very, very likely that he can probably do the reversal of curse spirit manipulation. Though I actually don't think it's going to be useful in a fight, but at the very least, I will say that as it may have some application, but again, it didn't in Yuki's fight. So it's not going to be anything groundbreaking like taking a Shikigami, taking Rika or something crazy. Since again, if he could just take Shikigami, he would have taken Garyuda. But one incredible feat that I should mention of Kenjaku is not only is his domain expansion barrierless, which is just incredible, but it's also the fact that he very likely has multiple different guaranteed hits or multiple multiple different domain expansions. The reason I say this is because his own curse technique is body swap. The anti-gravity is Coyote Itadori's curse technique. And then of course, the main body's curse technique is Geto's curse spirit manipulation. When he activated his domain expansion, the guaranteed hit, it's insane, but it was actually the guaranteed hit for the gravity curse technique. So what this implies is that he probably has perhaps multiple different guaranteed hits or multiple different domain expansions. Regardless, he at the very least has a lot of different sure hits. So perhaps if he decides to make a domain expansion of the guaranteed hit being curse spirit manipulation, he could do something crazy with that. Maybe if he makes the guaranteed hit his main curse technique, so the one that he can swap bodies, I don't know what that guaranteed hit would be. Maybe he can be guaranteed to take somebody's body. That would be insane if you think about that. If he takes Yuta's body that way, I don't know. But it's also the benefits of having a barrierless domain. Though what it appears to be is that it can be argued if this means your domain is more refined or not. More people lean towards that means it's more refined. Personally, I don't believe that, but I just want to put that on the table since that's actually a majority opinion. But at the very least, having a barrierless domain, it means that your range extends massively, and it also means that you can make your guaranteed hit faster. Now, this was the issue that Tengen had with Kenjaku. Because his domain is barrierless, Kenjaku didn't have to wait for the whole domain to form before he could actually activate his guaranteed hit. He didn't need to wait for a barrier to be formed. So for example, if you look at any domain expansion that's ever made, so say Gojo's or Mahito's, it takes time for the domain to enclose their opponents or to close in on them. It actually takes a good amount of time, but that's the benefit of having a barrierless domain. No time is wasted to form that barrier, and the domain pretty fast, I mean it's insanely fast, can just use the guaranteed hit right off the bat. And this was actually why Tengen failed to take the barrier domain, because he was expecting there to be a barrier to take Kenjaku longer to form the guaranteed hit. It's incredible. Barrierless domains truly are something crazy. As far as we know, Yuta only has a barrier style domain, since when he actually did the domain expansion, he did a barrier style one. And of course, not only is his physical stats just off the charts because he's in Geto's body, it was actually confirmed. I can't remember if this was specifically from a volume extra data book or GEGE's own words in a recent interview, but it's pretty recent actually. So if some of you actually remember, GEGE actually said when it comes to hand-to-hand, Kenjaku is actually better than even Gojo at hand-to-hand. What it means is if everyone was on equal stats, where they just had to use their martial arts skills and tactics and such. So again, no cursed energy, just their raw skills, it's all equalized. GEGE actually said Kenjaku is better than Gojo. And the reason this is incredible is because the data books have confirmed, and in Gojo's own words when he broke the fourth wall, I think it was around chapter 132.1, he himself says that GEGE said Gojo is perfect in every way other than his personality. So the fact that Kenjaku is actually better than him at that is truly incredible. And imagine you give Kenjaku, who has thousands of years of martial arts experience, and as someone who GEGE himself said is just incredibly great at martial arts, and you give him a body like Geto's, who has special grade level physical strength, it's just incredible. I mean, the only way you can actually beat this guy hand to hand is if you have a curse technique that greatly amplifies your physical damage, like Bombaye as Yuki, where it doesn't matter about your martial arts, you can just punch through someone in terms of hand to hand. And yeah, Kenjaku really is just him. He's something crazy. I mean, he beat Yuki even with Choso and Tengen's help. Though again, Tengen was still a detriment. It doesn't change the fact that she had that help. Tengen was only a detriment in that fight because Kenjaku was so skilled with a domain expansion. That's actually a plus to Kenjaku. It's crazy. And of course, all this on top of the fact that, again, in chapter 211, well, with the translations that we currently have, so I'm guessing that the official translation is gonna be the same, but just in case it changes it, just want to throw that out there. Yuki is, at the very least, as strong as or relative to Yuta, and Kenjaku beat her. Incredible. It's just crazy. So I think that definitively means Kenjaku should be stronger than Yuta. No questions asked. And if you've been enjoying the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more JJK content. And if you're a Yuta fan, oh boy, you're about to enjoy what's coming next. Now, let's get into Yuta, how strong he is, his win conditions, and all that great stuff. And I know you might be asking, well, didn't you just say Kenjaku's definitively stronger than Yuta? So there should be no section here. It's pretty clear cut, right? Well, actually, not exactly. Just because you are stronger than someone doesn't mean you win. And I've explained this in multiple videos. Mainly, actually, this is the argument I use to say why Yuki beats Yuta, since I think Yuta's stronger, but I think Yuki, or even Hakari, might actually beat Yuta, especially given the right circumstances. More so of Yuki, actually. And this argument that I've always used against Yuta actually is going to help him this time. Yes, I think Kenjaku is stronger, but that doesn't mean Yuta doesn't have something that he can use to kill Kenjaku. So let me start off with the first thing. Actually, one quick thing that I didn't say for Kenjaku's win points is that Yuta only has 5 minutes. Yes, only 5 short minutes, and then after that, he doesn't have his curse technique, he doesn't have Rika, and he doesn't have the supply of cursed energy in him, giving Kenjaku points in the Yuta section. Kenjaku is more likely to win because if Yuta doesn't finish him off in 5 minutes, then he just doesn't. But here's the thing though, actually, to defend Yuta right here. I'm one of those people, and I will say this is headcanon, so this is not proven. This is just something I believe, so if you don't believe this, that's okay. Yuta wasn't holding back per se in the Sendai colony fight. I think he was really going all out. Like, he wasn't holding his punches, but maybe he wasn't using some of his more lethal or deadly curse techniques. Now, if you're one of the people who thinks that Yuta was truly going all out and was trying to kill Ryu and Uro during the Sendai fight, then this argument doesn't apply. But if you think that he was not trying to kill them because he wanted their points, which is honestly what I think, and I also think it's not just because of the points, but I think it's a lot to do with their personalities, since again, Jirov and Kurushi were clearly harmful to civilians, so they just had to die. And even when he tried to reason with Kurushi, people forget this about Yuta's character, before he goes for the kill, every single time, he talks to the person and at least tries to figure out what type of a person they are, because Yuta's a very kind guy. So with Kurushi, he asked, why are you doing this? What's the point? And Kurushi just said, I just want to eat people. Yuta got very angry, and you could just see the look on his face, and especially his eyes, that when Kurushi said that, he was resolved to kill him at that point because there was no coming back for him. But again, remember when he asked Uro the exact same question? And when Uro was saying she wanted a better life and all this stuff, Yuta, yes, he didn't understand, but very, very clearly he was trying to sympathize. He's saying, oh, why don't you just try and fix the life you had back then, or didn't you have any lovers or friends? He was very clearly, because again, that's Yuta's character. It's what I really love about Yuta. He is actually just a very kind, sweet, and just wholesome guy, you know? He's not like all these crazy bloodlusted people. I mean, even in the author's own words, when him and Ishigori were charging the blast, the author actually said in the narration book that Yuta would probably never find the meaning in a fight or enjoyment in a fight. I can't remember if it was probably or that he just never would. Regardless, it just showcases Yuta's character, especially at that point, that he's just not that type of guy. And see, with Uro and even Ishigori, of course, beside the fact that they weren't harmful to civilians, or at the very least, when a fight isn't taking place, they're not just going to randomly kill civilians. That was a big reason why he spared them, but he could also sympathize majorly with both, especially Uro and Ryu. Again, it's because of that, and it's also because he also wanted the points as well. So because of those 2 points, I went on a massive tangent, but at the very least, I hope that makes my point clear. Okay, to actually come back onto the main point, I just truly think that there must be some sort of deadly or very lethal curse techniques that he has in store, maybe even curse tools that he just never used because he didn't want to kill them. I mean, remember, when we saw Rika, she had like 20 or 40 curse tools stored in there, and he only ever used one, and clearly the gauntlets aren't something that's lethal as well. The gauntlets that he put on his arm to amp his physical strength, I imagine there are definitely some curse tools there that are very, very deadly or could very quickly kill their opponents. The same goes for curse techniques. What if he has some sort of poisonous curse technique, or something that's like a 3-hit sure kill or something, kind of like what Aki had or what Soifon had from Chainsaw Man and Bleach? I really don't know. Again, these are just theories of mine, and I just want to clarify headcanon reasons why I say Yuta might be able to beat Kenjaku, because we've never seen him use his curse technique or curse tools while bloodlusted or while out to kill. And to also back that up, it's very, very clear that Yuta wants to kill Kenjaku, because in his own words, he had zero sympathy, zero empathy on his face when he said, I will kill Kenjaku and get all 400 points. He was dead set. He wants to kill this man. So if he truly was hiding any lethal curse tools or curse techniques, he best believe he's going to pull it out. Another thing to mention, if this is just a plain 1v1, which keep in mind, I've actually seen people say that Maki and Yuta are going to team up on Kenjaku. If that happens, Kenjaku's getting his ass clapped, I can't even lie. But if it's really just Yuta versus Kenjaku, I do think it being a 2v1 does help a lot, as even with the Yuki fight, Garyuda was helping a tremendous amount. So I mean, just imagine Rika and Yuta tag teaming Kenjaku. This would genuinely be like JJK 0 visually all over again. It would be really cool. And I guess one big thing I want to say for Yuta, now this isn't a power scaling argument, this is actually a thematic argument I always used against Yuta, but this is actually, as I even made a video with enemy stand users on my channel explaining that Yuta was going to die by Kenjaku, and the reason I said this is because, oh, we need to see a special grade die, it would really increase the stakes of the fight, it would fit thematically, maybe Yuta served his purpose, and I said a whole bunch of things, right? I'm not going to re-say the whole video. If you actually want to check it out, it's on my channel, it's like from 2 or 3 months ago. One of the big points that I had about a special grade needing to die by Kenjaku's hands to up the stakes of the final arc, that was a really big point I had, was fulfilled by Yuki, because I just wasn't expecting Yuki to be the one to die. The way Yuki died, I thought that was going to be Yuta. So in a sense, the whole reason Yuta's death would have been really impactful, I mean, obviously the whole emotional point and all of this really hard-hitting stuff that would hit fans really hard, I mean, that would still be there. But I feel like not only did the Yuki fight do that, perhaps not as strongly because Yuta's a far more loved and liked character. I mean, hey, he had his own movie, so that's a big reason why. But it's also the fact that a special grade dying to hype up the stakes of the final arc. And I know some people disagree with that point, saying we don't need a special grade to die. We know people die in JJK. Regardless, at least for me, that point is already been fulfilled by Yuki. So we already know Tengen is a massive threat because, you know, he killed a special grade and then he took Tengen on top of that. So yeah, the stakes have just skyrocketed. If you watch that Kenjaku is gonna kill Yuta video I made with enemy stand user, I'm not even kidding, just switched Yuta for Yuki and then it just hits every point right on the head. It's really crazy. Yes, this is a thematic argument which I will give Yuta, is that kind of his purpose for dying is genuinely gone. I mean, if he dies, it serves no purpose. Obviously, I'm not saying it's bad if he dies. Like, if he dies, it would still be really cool to see. And if you follow me on Twitter, you've seen the countless memes I put up saying, oh, I can't wait for Kenjaku to pack Yuta, or oh, Yuta's gonna get beat so badly by Kenjaku. Usually I'm just trolling really hard, you know, I gotta play up the Yuta hater villain act, you know, but honestly, looking at it, like realistically, Yuki dying really did serve that purpose. So these are kind of the reasons why I think Yuta at the very least won't die, but also might win. And especially if he also has Maki, which some people say he will have, then yeah, well, I think those two would really do a number on Kenjaku. And now for the conclusion. It's pretty interesting because, as someone actually said in my community tab, it's pretty much just a battle of two people with a massive bag of tricks. Yeah, it could really go either way. I do think in a 1v1, Kenjaku probably still wins, even if all the headcanon points I said for Yuta. That's a pretty interesting thing I should clarify. A lot of the win cons for Yuta, I think pretty much all of them, are actually just headcanon ideas or theories. So I will admit that just looking at it from everything we actually know in the series, Kenjaku just pretty much wins. I mean, the Yuta time limit, Kenjaku just killing Yuki, being the strong, the better domain expansion, more experience, physically just off the charts, reversal of curse technique, great reverse curse technique. I mean, he just has, honestly, everything going for him. If your name isn't Gojo Sukuna, you're gonna get packed by him. But I guess a big thing to note is, actually looking at how this is gonna go, it's unlikely that Yuta is gonna 1v1 Kenjaku. It might still happen, actually. I probably might happen, because I do think we're going to get this fight in a couple chapters, so I might be proven wrong, but at the very least, I just don't see why. I mean, Yuta would then need to leave Miwa, Ryu, and Uro. He would need to leave that group and by himself travel to find Kenjaku. And the reason I say it's unlikely to happen, because the way I see it going is that I do think it's going to be like a massive team up to fight Kenjaku. At the very least, him and Ma are going to team up. What I will say is it's pretty interesting, because in chapter 211, we see everyone's POV except the Sendai Colin. Now, it is possible that we're not seeing the Yuta POV to the reaction to anything. It's because he's actually facing down Kenjaku right now, and GEGE doesn't want to give that away. So if that is the case, then hey, this fight is actually happening very, very soon, right? But I'm so curious to hear what you guys think, because hey, who do you have winning, Yuta or Kenjaku? I know most people are going to say Kenjaku, but what I'm really curious is to see what the Yuta fans say, because I know there's actually a good amount of Yuta fans in my comments that I've seen in my community tab, to comments in my YouTube videos, all over the place, and even on Twitter actually, of people saying that Yuta's actually going to beat Kenjaku, or Yuta's going to pack Kenjaku. So very clearly the Yuta fans are very vocal about it, so I'm curious, what do you guys think? Is it for the reasons that I said, with him having more lethal curse techniques and him being bloodlusted? Or hey, do you have any other reasons? Let me know in the comments below. Or if you think Kenjaku packs him, hey, I would not mind those comments, by all means. Let me know why you think Kenjaku packs Yuta. And yes, that is pretty much the conclusion. If you did enjoy the video, again, be sure to leave a like. It's much appreciated, it helps the video out a lot, so I really do appreciate it. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you like JJK content and you haven't already. I got a ton on the channel, a ton of versus battles, what ifs, theories, live streams. I mean, two of my latest videos were Yuta versus Akari and the top 10 strongest JJK characters, so if you really like power scaling, you're gonna love this channel, and it's just much appreciated. And of course, thank you to all the members of the channel. You guys are really clutch. Thanks guys, just genuinely, it means a lot. Thank you. Alright, now for the important announcement for all the channel views. There's no easy way to say it, but I'm going to be uploading a lot less. And when I mean a lot less, I'm saying most likely 2 to 1 video every single month. But most likely it's going to be 2. If the month is very busy, it's going to be 1. And now, the reason is it's just because of university. Genuinely, it is taking so much time, especially since the second semester started. I just don't have the time, like, just being completely honest. I mean, I barely even have time to sleep right now because of university. So again, I'm really sorry, because I know you guys really do want more videos. I mean, I miss the times in the summer when I was uploading a video every day or a video every 2-3 days, and when I had a lot of time so I could just really put the work in. But with the second semester of university starting, yeah, it just really sucks. And I will be trying to live stream as well, but at the very least on Fridays or Saturdays I can do that live review. And yes, I know this is going to hurt the channel quite a lot, which honestly hurts a lot, because usually the way it works is once you haven't uploaded for 2 and especially 3 weeks, it really messes with how YouTube recommends videos on your channel, with the whole algorithm and everything like that. So yes, it's going to unfortunately really tank the channel, but again, it's just out of my hands. So yeah, I'm really sorry to everyone who really enjoys the content and is sad to hear this, because again, I'm also sad. Like, there was an ideal world, I would be back in the summer, you know, uploading 2 videos every day, which honestly, with the way university is going, even in the summer, I'm going to have to be studying pretty much all summer. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the update for the channel. It's a pretty big one, so I thought I should at least say it by the end of the video. And to all those who actually watch this far, or watch the videos, or actually enjoy the videos, truly, thank you a lot. It really means a lot, man. Seriously. Thank you guys. But that is pretty much the announcement, and that's the video. If you watched it this far, you are a member, as always, of the Higuruma fan club. Let me know in the comments down below if you remember the Higuruma fan club. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. Take care and have a nice day. See ya.